Alright, just sit back and get ready to have the most fun you ever had with an electronic device. All right, everybody, welcome out to the Get On With It Sports Show. It is Wednesday, July the 19th, 2023. Jersey Johnny coming at you. With me, as always, is none other than Mr. RadioPete and Mr. Harry Lug Nutz. Say hello, gentlemen.
Don't tell me what to do.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, hello. How are you?
How are you on this fine evening?
This
fine midsummer evening.
You know, I think better than Yankee and Mets fans.
The dog days of summer, as they're called.
The dog is the right term.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Well, that's true. That is true.
Indeed.
I don't know. It's kind of nice, I think, to not have to care about baseball here in New York.
I agree.
Well, that's only because your team is one of the top, 3 or 4 projected to go to the Super Bowl. So, yeah. Your football team, that is.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't. But no, I'm just saying. For once, it's kind of pretty much over early. At least if you're
I mean,
you don't have to worry about coming down to the wire and then winning your 100th game and losing the division lead on the same day, or watching a 3-game series blow your chances, or
What you guys? I'm going to let you in. This is a Get On With It podcast exclusive.
Okay.
Brian Cashman will be gone as the Yankees GM. I will be taking
his place.
Role,
all right.
And I will be signing Shohei Ohtani to the New York Yankees, where he belongs. I will be hanging Josh Donaldson by his balls from a flagpole on Labor Day.
Are they big enough to hold him and support him?
Doesn't matter. We'll get something to support him, duct tape, something along those lines.
Mm-hmm.
And I am also the new batting coach.
All right.
And I have a bag of wrenches.
GM, batting coach, and ball suspender.
Yes. And anyone who doesn't get their batting average up over 240 gets a wrench thrown at them while they're batting.
If you can dodge a wrench, you can hit a baseball.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna keep the wrench industry in business for the next, because that's gonna be a lot of wrenches.
Yeah, I can imagine. It will be.
Yeah, that's just for that one team.
Well, that's the only team I really care about. But
yeah.
All right.
And that's baseball, folks.
All right. What's next? Now,
the Mets and the Yankees suck, and we're moving on.
All right. Based on that, I'm gonna actually have a drink tonight. Haven't had one in a while on the show. I'm not even having a beer, as a matter of fact. This is not a beer.
Is it a sparkling seltzer?
White Claw?
It's a White Claw. I'm having a White Claw. It's a
nothing wrong with a White Claw.
It's a cider, actually.
It's a cider.
Yeah, it's a from Burnt Mills Cidery, which is in I believe it's in Bedminster. Yeah, Bedminster. Jersey Blue. So it's a Jersey blueberry cider with Jersey blueberry.
Fucking horrible.
It's not super sweet.
You have officially become bored that you.
What has become of you?
I had too much beer over the weekend and Monday and yesterday on the craft beer podcast, and there was one of these in there, and we picked them up over the weekend. But just wanted them, and it's actually I've had it before. It's actually not bad. It's a good cider. It's not super sweet. It's not ridiculously sweet.
Does it pair well with blueberry?
Blueberry, yes. Frankenberry, blueberry, yes. Very well, blueberry, yes. But I'm having the Jersey Blue because, I'm wearing Jersey Blue.
You're wearing a New York Giants baseball shirt?
I'm wearing a New York Football Giants baseball jersey. Right, exactly. And got a new cap going on there, too. But
is that a segue into how horrible the Giants are doing this offseason?
It's a segue into, I don't know whether it's football season, baseball season, whether I'm happy about football, upset about the Giants, pissed off at baseball, or if I'm just looking forward to spring training already and it's July.
Yeah.
That's pretty much an
interesting time.
I'll tell you what has captured me, and I do have the league pass with Major League Baseball, and I actually sat through that Yankees game last night, and I don't know why I do it, but I do. But the thing that I've watched the most is the NBA Summer League.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been watching a little of the NBA Summer League too. Not that we're going to get in and talk about that tonight, but
No,
I've been watching some of it.
that tells you exactly
Right.
how interesting
Exactly.
baseball is right now.
Exactly. Case in
There's just not enough pickleball on TV.
Well, it's coming. I'll tell you what there is enough of on TV, and that is cornhole.
Yeah.
Now, when will they start building the cornhole pickleball courts together so that I know where to drive the dump truck that's lit on fire?
Now, I tell you, on the pickleball video that we put up, the reel that we put up on the Facebook page the other day, it has thousands of views already, so it's actually doing well. People are enjoying it.
Yeah, well, I think the best comedy comes from truth.
This is true. Yeah. That's very true. So we got some music for the background music tonight.
I thought it was some manatees mating.
Yeah. So it's so the boy is actually working this summer. He's at the school. We have a program for beginners, mostly middle school students who are either just starting or in their second year or whatever of playing an instrument, and so they get to go to one of the schools and they take lessons, and they have jazz band and orchestra and a couple of choruses or whatever. And it's a really great program, and it's inexpensive and wonderful. So my son is teaching this year.
Nice.
And he's a teacher's assistant this year. It's his first year.
Mm-hmm.
And him and his friend of his are doing it, and lessons are from, I guess, 8 to 12 half-hour lessons for the kids.
Mm-hmm.
And then him and his friend have been going over to the intermediate band to play with them. But apparently there's not a lot of low instruments. There's no low brass in the intermediate band.
Gotcha.
So, and apparently the trombones were leaning a little heavily on Victor's guidance.
Mm-hmm.
And so she said, you know what? You're going to play the tuba.
Yeah,
so she gave him a tuba and gave him some music, and that was about a week ago, I think, tomorrow. And he's been now plays the tuba with the intermediate band because they had no bari sax, no tuba, like no, I think, baritone, clarinet, or bassoon or anything.
Gotcha.
So now we get to hear him practice the tuba instead of the usual trombone.
Well, there you go. Tuba's a good instrument.
Yeah.
Harry, you know anybody who played the tuba?
No.
So actually, Harry, if you need a trombonist or a tubist,
I've had a trombonist. I've actually opened up for a band that was called Drums and Tuba. I did a show with drums and tuba. We were at the middle band, kind of opening up for two bands that night. The other band was a little-known gentleman at the time named Joe Bonamassa.
Joe Bonamassa, yeah.
Quite possibly the strangest show ever known to mankind. And it was quite delightful.
Well, especially because, what was it called? Drums and what?
Drums and tuba. They were on Ani.
Drums and tuba. Was it actually a flute quartet? Which was
yes, that's right.
Really unusual.
No, they were actually a drummer and a tuba player and a guitarist.
That is strange.
But anyway, look them up. Use your Googlers. Find your Spotifys and go listen to them.
Drums and tuba. Use your Googlers.
Yeah, Joe Bonamassa.
Yeah. Or Bonamassa too. If you don't know who that is, then you've been.
Joe Bonamassa. Don't worry about
it. He doesn't need any of your money, but drums and tuba probably do.
No. Yeah, I'm sure they could use it.
Cool.
All right. So, what do we really need to talk about with baseball?
I'm done. I'll see you guys next week.
All right. On that note,
give Pete on the next show next week. Give Pete the win on the questions, and let's just see you guys in September.
See you in September. Take the rest.
I'll
of the
see you in September when something means something.
Yeah.
Means something. Well, all right. Well, there's a couple of things.
Look. If everybody on ESPN could take 2 months off, why can't we?
Well, they got fired. They got fired.
No.
You guys are taking a little more than that.
Even the ones that haven't gotten fired, there's. You think the regular crew is bad? Just watch ESPN in July. It
No.
is
That's
horrible.
bad. That's horrible.
This is why we need to step up. They might be looking for some cheap replacements.
On that note, not that we're getting into football really quick, it's a couple things we'll talk about in baseball, but Good Morning Football on NFL Network. This was it's probably last Thursday or Friday. Again, all fill-ins, right? They had some of the regular crew on today, but all fill-ins last week. Do you know who? I guess probably one of the main fill-ins was.
I have no idea.
Ryan Leaf.
Look, I just want to. This includes anybody that's on this podcast with me, hosting wise.
Mm-hmm.
If you in July, if you are in July, waking up and watching Good Morning Football, you have a problem. You have problems that need to be addressed. If you have
resemble that remark.
If you have a significant other, they are woefully neglected.
Keep in mind. Okay, I'm not sitting at 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning watching Good Morning Football.
I know you
this is at 7 a.m. No. This is at 7 a.m. Okay,
it's 7 a.m.
Even worse.
I'm having a cup of coffee. I'm still waking up. Something's on the TV for half an hour.
Even worse. The fact that you're watching Good Morning Football in July.
Well, I mean,
it says that you have a problem. Unless you're the defensive line coach of the Carolina Panthers, you should not be watching Good Morning Football.
Only the defensive line coach of the Carolina Panthers.
Well, because he needs
nobody else.
I'm sure they need something to fill in. Yeah.
You know, the funny thing about Ryan Leaf, though, he was actually originally hired by Fox, but he refused to work for them.
Really?
Did he?
Is that true?
Yeah. He went, no.
I
was making
I bet
an
Ryan
NFL
Leaf,
draft parallel joke.
I bet Ryan Leaf is exactly Fox material.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, a couple things baseball-wise.
Well, baseball. We're going to go to baseball.
Baseball. Well, you see the diamond in the background?
Okay.
Anyway. No, I just wanted to bring up yesterday was the first time since 1894, not 1984, 1894, that 12 Major League Baseball teams scored in double digits on the same day. 12 Major League Baseball teams scored in double digits for the first time yesterday since 1894.
I mean, that's got to be Joe Biden's fault or the shot clock.
Oh, jeez.
Pitch clock.
It's the pitch
right.
clock.
Yeah. I think it's global warming.
Global warming, yeah.
Slow the ball down.
Chicago Cubs. Chicago Cubs beat the Nationals 17-3. Arizona beat Atlanta 16-13. So there's three teams right there. San Francisco, the Mets, and Kansas City all scored 11. Cincinnati, the White Sox, and Detroit all scored 10. The Cleveland scored 10. So forth and so on. And then the Dodgers and the Orioles both scored. I'm sorry, the Dodgers and the Twins both scored 10. So 12 teams.
And the Yankees had 2 hits and 1 run.
The Yankees had 2 hits and 1 run on that day. Right, exactly. So, you know what? This is just to get into the Mets for a second. I don't want to belabor this because we all know how horrible they're playing. It's so ridiculous. But this is a microcosm of their season. The Mets. The bats finally come alive, and they score 11 runs. But yet they still had to hang on at the end of the game.
But they won, and they're 6-4 in their last 10. Which last time I told you guys that they're gonna be playing, 600, 700 ball the rest of the way here. Look, it's gonna be tough for them to get back into it, but they've won six out of the last 10. If they keep that up,
Your optimism is really refreshing.
It's very refreshing. If they keep that up, they might get close.
Yeah,
and still not make the playoffs.
Hey, look, it's better than what they were playing.
That is true. June was an abomination.
Yeah,
it was ridiculous. But yeah, no, it's the pitching. We know it, and the bats fall asleep from time to time. But it's the pitching. But I'm not going to get into it. That's what's going on with the Mets. The Yankees have their own problems. It's kind of the same thing. The bats. What bats?
They're woeful. They're absolutely woeful. Here's the question with the Yankees. Okay, obviously, in years past, going back before Mr. Steinbrenner passed away, if the Yankees were 5-6 games above 500, a game out of 2 games out of the playoffs,
Right.
you could expect them to make 2, 3, maybe 4 significant moves before the trade deadline. And I just sit here going, they're not going to do a damn thing. They're not going to do a damn thing. And I blame their extreme patience and overconfidence in this vaunted farm prospects that they have, and their bargain bin Kohl's coupon shopping for aging veterans who they're overpaying and are just woeful. On Brian Cashman, he's got to be gone. If the Yankees do not make the playoffs this year, Cashman has to go. Now, would I like to see Boone go to? Sure. Boone's kind of I don't know. He's not even, he has nothing to do with it.
No.
It's on Brian Cashman. And beyond Brian Cashman, this is going to tell me if the Steinbrenner family really cares about this team or not. If Brian Cashman is not fired immediately after the season is over, or the moment the Yankees are eliminated from the playoffs, if he does not go out and get Shohei Ohtani and another 2 outfielders, then he's gone. He's got to be gone.
All right.
Well, I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think it's going to happen. Number one,
I don't think he's going to get those guys, so he'll be gone.
Yeah, and also
maybe he won't.
Where are you playing Shohei Ohtani?
Who gives a shit? Where are we going to play him? Oh, the Yankees don't need outfielders? Right now we got Stanton in right field loping around like a fucking Christmas tree.
That's my point. This is my point.
We got Aaron Judge who's hurt every other month.
You have 3 DHs. That's my point. You have 3 DHs.
Yeah, so you get rid of one of them.
Yeah.
You have to eat some contract, but you get rid of.
You're getting rid of Judge?
Who's the third?
You're
getting rid of Stanton.
Judge is arguably the best
outfielder. No, I understand that he is, but when he gets hurt, then he's DHing.
Then he gets hurt, he doesn't play.
Well, if the risk of injury in the outfield is there and prevalent, then he DHs. That's my point.
If my problem is I have to find a place for Shohei Ohtani to play, and I got to juggle DHs, then that's fine. And yes,
you'd rather have that problem, is what you're saying.
Yes. And Stanton could go fuck himself. And who's the third one? Rizzo? Rizzo. Shohei Ohtani has hit 24 home runs since May 18th. All right, when he was tied with Rizzo for the number of home runs. Rizzo has hit none.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you're bringing in Shohei Ohtani, you're bringing him in to DH and to pitch. And if you're even considering, well, maybe we have to put him somewhere else because of Giancarlo Stanton, then you should immediately be fired.
He's an outfielder.
Immediately fired.
He can play the outfield. He doesn't have to DH.
Why do you want to mess with the successful? You want to potentially fuck up what Shohei Ohtani does for Stanton?
No. I'm not saying that. I didn't say that at all.
Oh no, you mean Stanton can play the outfield?
Yeah. What I said is that.
Oh, okay.
Is that get him here, and even if it's between Shohei Ohtani healthy playing DH or hurt Aaron Judge having to play DH, then I got Ohtani.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I thought you meant put Ohtani in the outfield so Stanton can DH.
No.
Oh, okay. All right. I misunderstood. What do you guys?
He'd be pitching every 5th day. He's not playing the outfield.
Yeah. He's on a 6-man rotation. Ohtani. So yeah. No. Stanton can be benched. I'm not. I'd have no qualms about. Yeah, that's going to be a big contract to eat, but I don't care. Let him pinch hit in the playoffs.
He'll probably hit a couple of home runs probably too.
Probably when it's 7-0. When they're winning
7-0. When it's 7-2.
Yeah.
In the top of the 8th.
Let me ask you a question now. What if Steve Cohen's money puts a hamper on the Yankees getting Shohei Ohtani?
Look, if the Mets get him and they outbid him, and the Yankees really aggressively went after it, and he just chose the Mets, that's fine. But here's the point I'm going to make is whatever Cohen can offer him, the Yankees have the ability to match that. The Yankees, I also think, have better prospects to offer the Angels than the Mets do.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, that's the trade deadline. There's no
Yeah.
saying there's. I'm
Right.
I'm not necessarily talking about the trade deadline. I'm talking about
the
the
extension or
offseason
free agency.
extension. Right. Yeah.
I think he's getting traded, and I think it's got to be with the understanding that it's gonna be a sign and trade or a trade.
Yeah, I mean, he wouldn't be traded someplace and then go sign somewhere else.
The only team I could see doing that as renting him for a couple months is the Dodgers, to be quite honest with you.
Right.
I could see him going to the Dodgers. It's an easy mix. And then if somebody really wants to get him, the Dodgers have been known to say, there is a limit on some stuff. And they've been kind of smart about that. So who knows?
But he'd probably also rather stay out on the West Coast than
that has
here
been
to New York.
a long rumor that they now say is not true. And from everything that I'm reading, and this is not coming from Yankee channels, this is coming from national media, is that the Yankees are right there in the forefront now of this conversation.
There's 5 teams in the mix. There's 5 teams in the mix.
3 that I think are leading the way.
5 teams in the mix for Shohei Ohtani. It's the Yankees, the Mets, staying with the Angels, the Dodgers. And
That's
the
not going to happen. And the Giants aren't going to happen. So it's the Dodgers, the Yankees, and the Mets.
Right.
And look, I think the Mets are a great organization, but Shohei Ohtani has a better chance for longevity if he comes to the Yankees.
Right.
It's just true. Now, if the Mets get him, I'll be happy for the Mets. I'd love to see him play in New York.
Yeah.
But the Yankees, and look, if the Angels want Volpe and Josh Donaldson's 3 kids and Gary Sanchez's old Mercedes-Benz that he left in the parking lot, give them whatever the fuck they want. These prospects the Oswaldo Peraza, the Oswaldo Cabreras, fuck them. Go. If that's what you want, then take them. Take the whole lot of them. I don't care. If you want Domingo Germán, take him. I don't care. Take him.
Yeah.
Take him.
Right. Fair enough. Do you realize that the Yankees are in sole possession of last place in the American League East through 95, 96 games for the first time since 1990?
And do you know that the Yankees would be 2 games in first place in the American League Central?
Right. That's how that's a testament to how good the
AL
East is. Right.
Tampa Bay has skid, which I didn't really foresee coming. And every team, with the exception of the Yankees in that division, is playing great ball. Boston's the hottest team in the last month of baseball.
Yeah,
Toronto and Baltimore are on fire. Mm-hmm. So what could happen is still going to happen. The Yankees are going to have to make some big moves in order to compete to get a playoff spot, because Houston's playing good ball again. And if they're going to do anything in the playoffs, it's going to be way harder this year. Every team, with the exception of Houston, that was in the playoffs for the American League last year, is better.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't want to face Houston, not with the postseason experience that they have and the pitching that they have. So, but is Baltimore not the best team in the American League East right now? With Boston maybe second?
Yeah.
Are the Yankees? Can the Yankees compete with Tampa Bay? No. Can they compete with Toronto? No. They've lost series badly to all of these teams, and so they need to make a big move. Now, obviously, Judge coming back will help immensely.
Sure.
This is where MVP means MVP. I mean, you could see what they are without him and what they are with him. With him, they are a team that if their pitching holds up, they have a chance to win some games. Without him, they have no shot at all. And some of these young pitchers that they have, Germán pitches a perfect game against the A's. He's not horrible. Severino, who knows what's going on. With the exception of Garrett Cole, which the Yankees continue to blow good starts for him. With the exception of Cole, I watched Rodon pitch last week in person at the game. He's mediocre at best. He's not ready right now to step in and pitch playoff baseball. He get out of 5 innings against the Rockies. So
there seems to be a lot of that all over baseball too. And I watch with the Mets, and I watch with a lot of the teams. Starting pitching, very, very infrequently. Only really. Let's put it this way: it hasn't been anywhere near as often as it should be. Starting pitching going deeper into games. It's 5 innings seems to be the norm, and then you need 4 innings of relief.
And look, I think pitching when you have a modicum of hitting or really good hitting, it's easier to be a pitching staff. For the Yankees, it's debilitating because they'll get a good start out of Cole, they'll get a good start out of Clark Schmidt, they'll get a decent start out of Sevy, and then they'll have to use 5 relievers, which I don't believe in with the way in which Boone uses his pitching staff.
Right.
And one of them comes in and bam, it takes one pitch for them to that sliver of error, of margin of error is gone. And so now Garrett Cole's 1 run, 6 inning start, which is all you can really ask for from an ace right these days, right? You guys, if you guys got 6 innings and 1 run out of Scherzer or Verlander, would you be happy with that? Yeah. So, but it seems like the 7th and 8th innings are just catastrophic. And the Yankees don't have a closer. They don't have a closer. You can play this game all you want that Clay Holmes is the Yankees closer. They don't have a closer. But they still have a chance. They still have a chance to make it into the playoffs.
This is very true.
And if they're going to start just folding up shop, then
All right. On that note, I'm pretty much I'm pretty much over baseball, let alone done with it.
More or less, yeah.
Well, let me ask real quick question. 30 seconds. Do you think the Mets make any significant moves at the trade deadline? You don't even need to elaborate on it. Just do you think they will, or do you think they're going to?
I honestly don't. I honestly think that they're waiting. I honestly think that they're not haven't decided. No.
Oh, okay.
I honestly think that they're waiting like another week.
Yeah.
Just to see if they go, over the next 7 games they go 6-1.
Yeah. Because what are they, 9 games out of the last wild card spot right now?
They are, 8.5. 8. They're 8 games out of
They were 13.
They were.
Yeah. So
if they make
at that pace, if they all of a sudden can be 5 games out by this time next week, then
this time next week they're 4 or 5 games out. I think they make some moves. If they're not,
6.
I don't. Right. So
I think if they go anything 500 or greater, they stand pat.
Yeah.
I think they believe that this team is good enough.
Oh, okay, I got you.
If they go 5-5 over their next 10 or better, I think they'll stand pat.
If they go less than that, then they go out and get something.
Then they might go out and make a move. But
okay, so they're still fighting, is what you think?
But barely.
Okay,
right.
I think they think this team is good enough. And now, if they go 2-8, then I think they'll go. Okay, we have to do something. But I think another week of 500 ball, and they'll go, we just need to come around a little bit more, which I think is a mistake on their part. But
here's the other thing I am going to say, and we could talk about this another time in some more detail. I think the lifespan for a baseball player is 3 to 4 years now.
It's crazy.
That's it.
It's crazy.
That's it. And then you're a shell of yourself. I never remembered players who played 15, 16 years having such disparity between their good years, and they never had horrible years like this.
No.
It's just, it is amazing how quickly these guys can lose any ability to put a bat on a ball, or even remember how to catch a ball, or where a cutoff throw is.
Yeah.
Or
maybe they had like a really good year or a couple of really good years, but then they sort of went back to where they were before. They didn't fall off the cliff.
They always have good years on contract years. So maybe every year should be a contract year.
Mm-hmm.
Which leads us into another discussion.
So let me bring this up. Just a little, I don't want to say light at the end of the tunnel, but a little bit of light. a lighter conversation, if you will, a better, happier conversation.
Yeah, this is happy. This just means that I could spend more time
No.
watching strange YouTube documentaries.
Right. Well, that too. But I was going to say, as far as the Mets go, for both of you, I'll ask both of you this question. You both can answer it. Has Francisco Alvarez met or exceeded your expectations of him this season?
Oh, he's far exceeded it.
Pete?
Far exceeded.
Yeah, exceeded.
Yeah. He is right now. I think he has 19 home runs. If he's number 2 for catcher, most home runs by a catcher in rookie catcher in history. I believe that's what it is. Johnny Bench has 26. I guess that was 1969. If he hits another 8 home runs, he'll have the rookie record for a catcher in all of Major League Baseball. He's doing well, and his defense is great. I mean, he was definitely one.
That's what the big surprise is, right? We all knew he could hit the ball. I mean, he's exceeded expectations.
Well, that was what everybody talked about. His defense is not ready. His defense isn't ready.
Yeah,
looks pretty ready to me.
Well, the pitchers seem happy, and that's Well, let me ask you guys this. This might be an obvious question, but between the Mets and the Yankees, which team is built worse? The Yankees, who cannot do anything without, albeit an incredible player and a superstar in Aaron Judge, or the Mets, who have all their pieces, right? They have Alonso, they have Lindor, they have a rookie catcher who's exceeding expectations. They've got last year's batting champion in McNeil, and yet they still can't get it done. So which team is built worse?
That's
the
easy.
Team that can do nothing without their superstar, or the team that just isn't getting it done with all the pieces that they expect?
And when they do get it done, the pitching screws up.
Well, right. This is easy. This is easy. It's no brainer.
I said it might be easy.
The Mets, from top to bottom, with the exception of Aaron Judge and maybe Garrett Cole, but I'm going to preface all that in a second. If you take it position by position,
they're a better team.
The Mets are far better. Now, you could say, okay, the Yankees had a couple bright spots last year, and Harrison Bader, he's tanked. Jose Trevino, he's not even playing as much anymore. Higashioka's is there every game I turn around. Now, I know some of that's injury related, but some of that's also performance related. Okay, Donaldson, LeMahieu are struggling mightily. Rizzo is useless. I mean, at every position, the Mets are better. Now, you have Garrett Cole, and the Yankees pitching overall statistically is a little better. They're starting to, what did we say in the beginning of the year? The overuse of the bullpen is going to kill the Yankees because they're going to start to fade, and they're already fading, and it's July. So I think that the starting pitching of the Mets, when you have a Verlander and a Scherzer on there, if I wanted to take those two as opposed to Garrett Cole and Carlos Rodon and maybe Luis Severino, then the Mets starting pitching is even better, and that is important in the playoffs. So I think that overall, the Mets have a much better team. I think they're better defensively. I think they're better offensively. I think there's less variables for them to worry about. I know that, okay, McNeil numbers might drop a little bit, but I know he's not going to fall off the edge of the earth. Okay. I know that they're going to get production out of their power hitters no matter what. Sure. What's his name at shortstop has not lived up to what all the hype that you expected him to, but he's not hitting 140. So I think the Mets are a much better team. Aaron Judge is one of 3 players in Major League Baseball who is a game changer. But what I also said that the Yankees can't do is they can't sign Judge, take a big sigh of relief and say, oh, we did it. We got Judge. Because lo and behold, here we are again with Aaron Judge on the sidelines. And look, I love Aaron Judge. I think he's great. But he's injury prone, and it's only going to get worse. So the Mets are a better team. The Mets are a better team. And look, I think at the end of the year, if the Mets can finally make a run here, I think they have a better chance of winning in the playoffs than the Yankees do.
Fair enough.
Now, having said that, I think the Mets are underperforming
Oh, huge.
far worse than
Oh,
the
yeah.
Yankees are.
Yeah,
You know, the Yankees are above 500. The Yankees are not. The Yankees might be overperforming based on the lineup that they have and what they have been given to work with. You know, this is why I don't completely blame Boone. They have some names there, but if you look at that Yankees lineup, and I knew this from the beginning of the year, there are weak spots from top to bottom. There are holes in that lineup. The one maybe bright spot with the Yankees is that Gleyber Torres seems to be having a bounce back year. Is he hitting 320? No, but he's hitting 265 and he's got some pop in his bat, and he's not throwing balls into the right field bleachers because he's playing a position that he understands. So, okay, we'll take that. But everybody else in the Yankees has not had a good year. It's contagious. And from a roster standpoint, the Mets are a way better team. They should be.
And yeah, what you said, contagious. Look at the Mets. Nobody hit for a good, 5-6 weeks.
I know.
But the other thing about Judge and the injuries is one of the things that to me makes Ohtani going to the Yankees like another wrinkle or interesting, because, okay, if Judge is hurt, and he usually doesn't play at all if he's hurt, but what if he can hit, but he can't play the field? Well, then what do you do with Ohtani?
Well,
now you've got now what do you do? Now
Ohtani might have to occasionally play in the field, and if he doesn't, if he doesn't, then that's fine. The other thing that I think eventually in the next couple of years will have to happen, Aaron Judge, when he's on the field, is a great outfielder. He's a very good outfielder. He has a great arm. He has good range.
First base or something, maybe.
He's got to play first base.
Yeah,
you got to stick him at first base. Well, who is he replacing? The Yankees' best first baseman plays second and third base more than he plays. I mean, Rizzo is the worst. I told you guys this. We could have had Matt Olson. No, we got Anthony Rizzo. It's just horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
horrible. And look,
maybe that's the solution. Maybe that's a way to keep him on the field, keep Ohtani DHing, and
there you go. All right. I think I'm good with baseball. What do you think?
Yeah.
But I'm telling you this.
Until we get to are they for real?
Since we last talked, the Mets have made up 5 games in the wild card. I'm telling you this. By a month from today, the Mets will be within 5 games of that wild card spot.
I would
or 4 games with it.
It's gonna have to be like 3 games to be getting closer, because then it comes down. It's easier to make up games now in the end of July and August than it is in September. So,
well, what I'm saying is that they'll still have half of August and most of September. So I think they're going to make it close. I think they're going to make it close.
All right. Well, we will see. We'll see. All right. Let's talk football just for a couple minutes. Pete, you getting excited for your Jets?
No.
The consummate pessimist.
They're the Jets.
The Jets are planning to release Denzel Mims if they can't find a team to take him in the trade.
Yeah, well, he wasn't happy, and we don't need anyone who's not happy.
Maybe him and Evan Fournier can get a 2-bedroom apartment in Milwaukee or something.
That's possible. Yeah. And he'll play for the Milwaukee football team.
Green Bay's right there.
It's not too far. It's about 3.5 hours away. So. Anyway, in any event, they'll the Patriots and the Steelers are considering it, but the Jets clearly have enough receiving options for Mr. Rodgers.
I'll say this: I'm excited about the possibilities.
Yeah,
no question about that.
No reason you should.
But I can't. I can't suspend. I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah.
Not even for Aaron Rodgers.
I'm right. I understand what you're saying. And on that note, let's get to the 400-pound elephant in the room. What are your thoughts on the Barkley situation?
Look, this is the. What's the word I'm looking for? The absolute epitome of the devaluation of the running back, right?
That's all it's about.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's economics, and to be honest, I think it's completely unfair to Saquon Barkley, and he has done everything that he's supposed to do, right? I mean, when he's been healthy. Okay. Didn't he have a really good year last year? Didn't he have a lot of all-purpose yards?
Saquon Barkley.
Didn't that offense really need him?
Here's a reality
as
check.
Much as Daniel Jones exploded into a great quarterback.
We can't conflate the two. The problem the Giants made is overpaying Daniel Jones. The problem the Giants made is paying Daniel Jones at all. Saquon Barkley has made $643,600 per game he has played in the NFL with the Giants since he first came in the league. $643,600 and some change per game.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm saying he deserves more. He's done what he's supposed
to do. He deserves
$1
million.
He deserves more. He absolutely does.
Does he?
I think so.
I think he deserves. Let's put it this way.
You don't think he deserves a little bit of a better payday?
He's making $10 million. What does he deserve? 20?
No,
30?
They were apparently
40?
Apparently, they were $2 million off. They weren't budging $2 million north, and Barkley wasn't budging $2 million south.
So Daniel Jones got $40 million for how many years?
3.
Okay. So that's what he's looking at. He wants to be within striking range of. So the Giants shot themselves in the foot by giving up on trying to trade or draft another quarterback and sticking with Daniel Jones. And what it's going to do is it's either going to lose Barkley or he's going to sit out till at least the third or fourth game of the season, and they're going to lose him.
Right, let me tell you something. He's not. I've read so many reports and so many blogs and everything else that he's thinking about sitting out the season. He's going to pull Le'Veon Bell. He's going to do this, but Barkley's not sitting out the season. It's not going to happen. 1, he's not that type of guy. 2, he's not going to do that because the fan base will turn on him like that.
He doesn't give a shit. He wants money.
Yeah, but if he wants money,
do you think he cares where he plays?
If he sits out, no. But if he sits out, if he does sit out, it's not because he's making a statement and he's going to wait for a bigger contract from somebody else next year, which he's not going to get. Okay, that's number one. It's because he's worried about getting injured before he gets that contract. That's the only reason.
It's about money. He wants guaranteed money. Right. That's what all of these guys want.
The devaluing of the running back position is 100%
also the way.
reason,
also the way the contracts are structured.
Of course, but let me tell you this right now. Right now, you talk about the devaluing of the running back position. The average salary for an NFL running back in 2023 is $1.81 million.
Yeah, it's less than kickers.
Okay. Thank you for Thunder Sealer. That's where I was going.
Well, we got to get on with it.
Spoiler.
$2.26 million a year is the average salary for kickers. So it's literally it's almost $500,000 more a year for kickers than for running backs is the average salary. It's a shame. And it's because the NFL has turned into a let's score 3,000 points a game industry. Pass the ball. Let's hand it off now. And then pass it. So we know the reason. But I agree with both of you. Just because the running back position has been devalued, I understand what Joe Schoen was doing. Keep in mind, they offered Saquon Barkley a contract back during the bye week last season, and it would have guaranteed him money, and it was a multi-year deal. He said no. They offered him another contract, which raised it above, I think it went up to almost $13 million a year, and it was $22 million was guaranteed, and it was a third-year option, blah, 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 but only 22 was guaranteed. He said no. He said no 3 times, maybe 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, he gambled and he lost.
But the problem is they were $2 million apart. And that's what gets me. If that is true,
then that's
what he's done for the Giants. Yeah. Give him $2 million. Well, I mean, it's not like we're talking when we're talking football money, $2 million is like $5. You know what I mean? They were $5 away. Give them the fucking $5 bill, pat them on the back, say, thank you very much for sticking around with us. You want to be a Giant for life? Let's do this. What, $2 million? That's why I'm saying, if it's true, if that's true and not just a bullshit report, if that's true, they should have just given him the money. They should have.
Why? What, $2 million? What are they looking to pay him a year? I need to know the numbers. Is Saquon Barkley better than Christian McCaffrey or Alvin Kamara or Derrick Henry?
But he's not looking for
$10 million a year.
Yeah, he's not looking for that $2 million. That was $2 million, not $2 million a year. $2 million over whatever 3 years. All right, so it was a very small amount of money. Plus, they're talking around $13 million. Christian McCaffrey's making over $16 million a year.
Christian McCaffrey is making $16 million.
Yeah, so he's.
And there's only two people making over 13. That's Kamara and McCaffrey. Dalvin Cook's making 12.6. Derrick Henry's making 12.5.
And who's a better running back, Saquon Barkley or Alvin Kamara?
I think Alvin Kamara.
You do?
Yeah, absolutely.
Really?
Yeah, in today's NFL, especially with Daniel Jones, the ability for him to catch the ball. I mean, Saquon's good out of the backfield, but he's not great. I'll take Derrick Henry over. My point being is that woe is Saquon Barkley. This is what it's like. All right, it's just $2 million. It's just $2 million. Now, I'm not saying the Giants have everything properly at hand here, because I think they've ruined the team by paying Daniel Jones the money that they paid him and the commitment they give.
What were they going to do?
Get another quarterback.
Where?
Anywhere.
Anywhere, because they're a dime a dozen. You can grab one that's good.
Well, if Saquon Barkley's so valuable, then he doesn't need a quarterback. Then give Saquon Barkley $16 million a year and have somebody hand him the ball.
The quarterback position is clearly much more valuable of a position than the running back position. All right. Think about it for just
But it's not, obviously.
Right? Look, we know how you feel about Daniel Jones. And
let me finish
my
thought. Let me finish my thought. The Giants gave $40 million to a quarterback who might not be top 20. All right, let's just say he's top 15, and they're skimping on $2 million, as you just said, of a definite top 10 running back. So it's because they know Jones is going to be there in 3 years, upright and vertical, for the most part playing, and we don't know that about Saquon Barkley.
I understand. I get you. I'm agreeing with that. Yeah. But the bottom line with Daniel Jones, and I've read plenty of this too. Oh, you gave Daniel Jones all the money. That's why you can't give Barkley the money. No, because there's structured contracts. They didn't not pay Barkley because they gave Daniel Jones the money.
I understand.
One had nothing to do with the other. Right.
What I'm saying is that's what Barkley is looking at.
Right.
He's looking at Daniel Jones and who he is, and relative to what he's getting paid, and how good Barkley is compared to his contemporaries.
Well, my argument that I made and I'm making is this, and I'll put this out there, and then I'm done with this conversation. With my part of the conversation, you can have at it. If Saquon Barkley doesn't play, the Giants can go out and sign Dalvin Cook. The Giants can go out and sign Kareem Hunt. The Giants could even, they can add Zeke Elliott. I don't think they should do that, but they have options. Plus, they have Matt Breida. They have the running back that they drafted. They have other options at running back. And the way this team played last year, okay, Barkley was a big part of it, but these guys Breida was a decent part of it too, okay? If Daniel Jones didn't get paid, okay, Tyrod Taylor was going to come in and do what Daniel Jones did last year? And there wasn't anybody else that they could just pick up and plug in that position that would do, even if he's not a top 20 quarterback, what he did last year with what he had to work with. There's not many people that could come in and do that on this team. My point is, whether or not you agree with the fact that Daniel Jones got the money he got, he almost had to get the money he got because they needed to keep him. They didn't have a choice. They do have a choice with Barkley, and it sucks, but they do have a choice with Barkley. They don't need Barkley as much as they needed Daniel Jones.
They are now committed to Daniel Jones for the rest of the, what I would say, prime years of Saquon Barkley. Mm-hmm. So if they were not, if that's what they were doing that for. Mm-hmm. So let me ask you just a very simple question. Mm-hmm. Don't you think, broadly speaking, that Saquon Barkley and Dalvin Cook are equally as important to their two teams?
Sure.
Okay. So Minnesota let go Dalvin Cook. Okay, right. They goodbye. They just weren't even going to negotiate with him. He's he's as good as Barkley, right? Let's just say as good, equal, close.
Mm-hmm.
He's still not signed, and maybe might wind up on the Patriots. Who knows? The Broncos, probably not. No one is willing to pay these guys this money. And so it's nothing personal about any of these guys. So if you're a running back and you want to play, there is a cap on how much you will get paid.
Right. Yeah, I agree 100%. We got a comment in from Mr. David Scardino, and his comment is, how about them Cowboys?
They're just as they were last year. They're over they're going to overpromise and underdeliver. Is anybody really concerned about the Cowboys this year? Come on.
I saw I think CBS Sports posted it. I was looking for it a minute ago. I couldn't find it, but I can tell you what it was. They ranked all the NFC teams, different tiers. Top tier would be, Super Bowl contenders.
Mm-hmm.
And there's 3 teams in that mix. All right.
In the East?
In the NFC.
In the NFC.
In the NFC. What 3 do you think it is?
The Eagles, the 49ers, and the Cowboys?
Yeah, that would be correct. That's the 3 that they picked. All right. The next tier down, right on the cusp or something like that, they called it. Right on the cusp of the Super Bowl. All right. Right there. Just next tier down. 3 teams. What 3 teams you think they picked?
The Rams, the Giants, and the Vikings?
You got one of them right.
The Giants?
Giants.
The Rams are going to bounce back this year, by the way. The other 2 on the cusp, I'm trying to think of the Seahawks.
Seahawks is the second one, and the third one.
Dave,
if you're still commenting
it's got to be another NFC East team.
Hold on, he got it right.
The Lions, yeah.
Watch the Lions this year. Yep. Yeah. So it's the Giants, the Seahawks, and the Lions are right on the cusp. That's what he said. So, and then obviously there was 6 tiers out of the 16 teams. But the Giants are in they have the Giants and the Lions and the Seahawks in the second tier. So
yeah,
there you go. But hey, look, stranger things have happened. I thought this was interesting too. I just saw this today. 43% of Daniel Jones's passes last year were thrown under pressure. That's the second most in the NFL.
Yeah.
So
maybe they should take that Saquon Barkley money and get some linemen. I don't know.
Well, that would make sense, right?
Well, the Cowboys have an all-pro guard that's holding out for them. I mean, look, this is more than just it's a conglomerate. Obviously, you can't play football alone. So,
right.
Look, I'm not saying Saquon Barkley is not a great running back. I think he is. The problem is that with Daniel Jones, with Saquon Barkley, and with the team that the Giants have, which, let's face it, for all intents and purposes, is the team they had last year. Mm-hmm. They didn't have any major additions in the offseason. Am I wrong?
They think they've got a pretty good all-pro tight end.
Well, he was when was he last all-pro?
2 years ago.
Was it? I thought it was 4 years ago.
Yeah, it was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
He hurt some of last year.
Yeah. Okay. So, I'll give you that. So, but is that a game changer? No.
Ish. Not night and day, but helps.
My point being is that there's a cap on how far the Giants can go, especially with the Eagles playing the way they are, being in their division. And look, Dallas has to be better than they were last year. They have to be. I mean, they have so much talent that it's going to be tough. And Washington is going to be better than they were last year too. So it's a tough division. The NFC, you could say all you want about the rest of the competition. I agree with the assessment. I think the Giants are right there in that 3rd, 4th, 5th position, but I don't think they're going to get in that top 2 with the talent that they have.
No, I don't think so. But we'll see. I mean, it's who knows. We'll see what happens. That's why they play the games, as Chris Berman says, right? I got one question. I got one question for Dave, who's still watching. Who's the worst player on the Cowboys? I want to see what he says. I have a feeling I know what he's going to say, but Dave, who's the worst player on the Cowboys? Waiting patiently for his comment. Hopefully he's typing right now. We're either that. There we go. All right. Pete, you're a pseudo Cowboys fan. Who's the worst Cowboys?
Dak.
There you go. Dak Prescott. There you go.
Yeah, I think there are certain ways.
Whoa. He is not the worst player in the Cowboys.
Well, coming from two Cowboys fans right
guys.
there, they both agree.
Yeah.
I think in the purest sense of the worst player, no. I think as far as what he gets paid and what he's supposed to be doing versus what he does, you could kind of make that argument.
True.
Mm-hmm.
He's the new Tony Romo.
Well, I mean,
yeah,
only
not as good.
Only not as good.
But people said the same thing about Romo for years and years and years. You know?
Yeah. Well,
so you're saying the last good quarterback the Cowboys had was Drew Bledsoe?
Troy Aikman.
I was kidding with the Drew Bledsoe.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you ask Cowboy fans, they've only had two quarterbacks worth anything.
Roger Staubach and Troy Aikman.
Yeah, those are the only guys who brought him a super Bowl win. You know, and they're not wrong when you talk about upper echelon quarterbacks.
Yeah,
but you know, would I rather go into the season with Dak Prescott than many others? Yeah, probably.
But then when you get to the playoffs, what do you want to do?
Depends. You know, what are my options?
Colt McCoy.
If it's Joe Burrow, then it's a no-brainer. But if it's
well, no, somebody that the Cowboys can sign. Joe Burrow ain't going anywhere from Cincinnati.
Well, you know what I mean. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Anyway, all right. Well, enough about that. Well, you know what? It's going to shape up to be a good season. We'll do an NFL kickoff show where it's all NFL soon enough, probably sometime next month, and we'll touch on a lot more. But that's the nuts and bolts of it. Jets reported today. Jets camp started today. Rookies and veterans.
Rookies and senior citizens.
Rookies and senior citizens today. Giants are next week. Yeah, and before you know it, we'll be talking. Before you know it, we'll be doing beaten by the coin again. So.
And the Jets are on Hard Knocks this year too.
Jets are on Hard Knocks. And now let me ask you that really quick.
Roger's complaining about that.
Well, yeah, but they forced the Jets to do it. They didn't want to do it, but the Goodell said, "You're doing this." Do you agree with that? Should they been able to force them to do it?
If you pay me the amount of money that these guys get, I fucking, run through fire at the end of the night and with firecrackers up my ass.
Well, who does Hard Knocks? It's HBO, right?
HBO, yeah.
Yeah. So why should?
Well, because the NFL,
a cable channel. If it was the NFL Films or something doing it, then I would say, yeah, you might have
even less people watching.
But
not me at 7:00 in the morning. So.
But you might be able to see now. You'll have something else to watch at 7:00 in the morning. Rerun of Hard Knocks instead of Good Morning.
I mean, look. Yeah, who watches Hard Knocks? I mean, it's like I don't even watch that. I can't find it.
I've never watched. But my point is,
they should just turn it into a daily TikTok of Aaron Rodgers complaining about Hard Knocks.
If it was an NFL joint,
that'd be great.
If it was an NFL joint, then I could say, all right, well, yeah, I guess maybe you could force them to do it. But it's HBO, so I don't understand. Why Roger Goodell has the NFL is getting
even do $2 from HBO to do.
Remember the last time the Jets were on Hard Knocks and Rex Ryan got in a car and drove to the owner's house to make him. Was it Revis that he made him try to work out a deal with? It was somebody who was holding it.
Yeah, Revis was holding it.
2010 was Revis, yeah.
Dave Scardino says shouldn't be forced. I agree.
Yeah.
No, I agree. They shouldn't be.
So, all right.
My point being is that complaining that there's cameras on the field, it's just like, come on.
No, I got you. That's true though. All right, we have a Are They For Real?
We do have an Are They For Real?
Let's do it.
What is real?
What is real?
Like
how do you define
covered?
Real? If you're talking about what you can feel, what you can smell, what you can taste and see, then real is simply electrical signals interpreted by your brain.
Pretty sure none of that's real.
You're not real.
For real, for real, for real. Yeah.
Are you for real? For real? For real? For real?
Are they for real?
What is real?
All right, as I started to say, I think we've kind of covered a lot of this already with our extensive baseball talk, but it is another baseball edition of Are They For Real?
Ooh.
But we have a couple of different things going on now.
Nice.
So first up, are they for real? And as you know, in this segment, that question can mean a lot of different things. So first up, it will mean buyers or sellers.
Oh,
If they
okay.
are for real, they will be buyers.
Okay.
Or before the trading deadline. If they are
Mhm.
not for real, they will be sellers.
Mhm.
All
We have
right.
2 American League teams. One will be the Yankees.
Mhm.
The Yankees for real. Will they be buyers? Will they make moves to try and get themselves back into it?
I'm going to say no.
Harry,
Okay.
I think you already said
They have to. If they don't,
they
then,
have to.
then they can go fuck.
Oh, no. He's right. They have to. They won't. That's what.
You might be right. We might both be right, unfortunately.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Yeah.
All right. The other team, we talked about one of their players quite extensively, is the Angels.
Mhm.
What do the Angels do? Do they hang on to Ohtani and get nothing for him when he leaves at the end of the season, but at least maybe they'll have a shot at something? Or do they say, let's get everything we can for him, and I would say we'll start all over, but they're never really particularly good at, doing anything anyway. So are they buyers or sellers? Are they for real or not?
Oh, they're at 500 right now. So if they keep playing, if they go up, if they're like a 2 or 3 or 4 games over 500 by the time we get to the deadline, I don't think they sell. I
They're
think
selling.
they're-
I mean, they're 5 games. They're 5 games out of the wild card right now.
Ohtani's gone because
So
they
they are
can't.
not
They
for real.
can't. They can't afford to not get anything for him.
Right.
They just can't afford it.
But it
So
depends on who he's going to be. And it depends on what the team's going to want, too. And they're only teams that are going to give them anything that they, A, would want, and B, they'd be willing to part with, would be
The Yankees,
I
the
mean,
Mets, the Dodgers. Probably, you don't think the Braves will go after him, too? I mean, all the teams that consistently give up things and get trades done.
right.
So he's gone. And look, I think the Angels might be better off for it in the long run. I would love to see him stay in Anaheim because I like when guys stay with the team that they're brought up on. But he knows he's gone. The Angels know they're gone.
Well,
Everybody knows he's gone.
If Shohei Ohtani and his interpreter sat down with Mike Trout at all, Mike Trout's probably saying, "Get the hell out of here."
Yeah.
You know.
Don't get locked in like I did.
Yeah.
Dave Scardino weighed in. He says Yankees are for real, and Angels will deal him.
Yep.
All right. I think we're all kind of in agreement here. Okay. Next up in the National League, our beloved Mets.
They're not for real.
Will they make moves, or, as I have said, they will kind of stand pat and go, I think we're good enough.
They're
Just
not
can play
doing
better.
They're not going to buy anything. They're not going to sell anything. They're doing
John says,
right.
no, they are not for real.
I think Steve Cohen loves to. I think he's an action guy. I think the Mets are going to make a move. And look, if my gut hopes that the Yankees get Ohtani, but if I had to bet something serious on whether or not the Mets or the Yankees would get him, I'm going to put my money on the Mets. So
Well, now if the Mets don't get him, do they go for someone else? Not asking
yeah,
for
I think the Mets will make some moves. If they don't get Ohtani, I think what you'll see is the Mets go after a pitcher, maybe a starter, maybe a middle reliever. There's kind of set. They're doing okay closing wise, but who knows? They're going to bolster their pitching staff if they're getting. I think the Mets are going to continue to move, and I think they're going to do something. What I think they're going to go after if they don't get Ohtani are guys who they can trade and have 2-3 years on a contract, so they have them for next year, and they're not doing this whole rent a player and hope to re-sign them.
Right.
Scardino says they'll do something small.
Yeah.
With the New York Mets. All right.
Well, Mets gave me a heart attack last night. They will do something small. Absolutely. Agreed.
All right. Last up, this might be the easiest of these 4. No, probably not. The San Diego Padres, my favorite West Coast team. 7.5 out of the wild card. All that talent, all that money, not getting it done. And obviously, I've been looking at the rest of that division, and Arizona's fallen off a little bit. The Dodgers are back in first, so all is kind of right with the world in that sense. Are the Padres, do they say, we're going to make a move, we've done this, we're doing this, we need to keep doing it until we get it right? Or do they go, let's just play out the rest of this year and then we'll talk?
No, they're gonna make moves. Padres will. Padres
so
will
they're
move.
for real.
I don't think
They're
the
going for
Padres are able to make a major move. I think if they make a move, it's going to be minor. And I think if they make any move, it's going to be in the offseason, not for the trade deadline. I don't think they really – the way in which they're playing and the way in which this team is coming together, I don't think this is something that looks like it's going to turn around over.
Well, it's a little difficult too. Look at the division they're in. Even Arizona is playing lights out right now, and the San Diego is they're 7.5 games out of the wild card. They're half a game over the Mets in the wild card, right? And they're 10 games back in the division. So it is just as tough this year anyway of a division. So San Diego is pretty much right in the same position as the Mets are in, really. I mean, they're basically the San Diego Mets right now.
And the reason why I think it's going to be harder for the Padres to do something major is because those pitchers, those guys that are available, you got a lot of teams in the National League who, if it's not a major deal, are going to be in the running. You're talking the Giants, the Diamondbacks, the Phillies, the Marlins, the Reds, the Cubs, the Mets, even the Cardinals. Maybe you're going to see them try to make some moves. So there's going to be a lot more competition there. Right. And I think it's going to push one of those teams might be willing to overpay or overcommit to one person, whereas the Padres are going to be looking at all this stuff, and they might just say, hey, look, we can get something better in the offseason, which has been their trademark over the years. Now, last year they got Soto at the trade deadline, right?
Right.
So, I wouldn't be surprised, but I don't know. I don't think you're going to see anything.
Hard for them. It's going to be hard for them to take on any more payroll.
I agree. I don't think it's going to be anything big.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be anything big.
Yeah. All right.
Dave agrees with Harry, and he also said his son is officially a San Diego State University Aztec now, so he's a Padres fan now.
Welcome, David.
There you go.
Welcome.
And he says, not sure if they will do something.
Prepare to be disappointed.
There you go.
That's a hard place to go to school.
Yeah,
it's like Bismarck. It's just miserable.
So that's part of Bismarck, only warmer.
Bismarck only
just
warmer.
A little.
And it's still California though, so it's fun.
Well, what I'm saying is that there might not be a nicer place on this continent to live than San Diego.
Right.
that was my way of using sarcasm and irony.
Irony, right? Exactly.
That's so unlike you. I didn't get it. All right, that's part one of Are They For Real? Part two, we're going to talk about the home run race. It's Ohtani with 35, and the guy that the Yankees didn't get, Matt Olson with 30. Mm-hmm. Maybe you want to put Mookie Betts or Luis Robert in that list, but I'm only talking about Ohtani and Matt Olson. Who's going to win? Who's for real?
Oh, Ohtani,
okay.
Oh, absolutely. Ohtani.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's just coming out of the gate after the All-Star game. He's on fire.
Now, let's talk RBIs. Garcia, Adolis with 80, Matt Olson 77, Ohtani 76, Nosh Taylor from Cleveland 75, and I'll put Devers in there at 73. That's only 7 back.
I like,
and you know what? I'll put Arenado in there at 72.
Right, Arenado's having a great year.
Yeah.
Bounce back.
So give me two. Give me two that are for real here.
I think Ohtani's real. No matter what he does, if you could say, "Hey, who's going to win the Top Chef this year?" I'll take Ohtani.
He's going to get the job at Hell's Kitchen.
Absolutely. Yeah. He might win NFL MVP this year.
I think you will, actually.
Who the hell knows? I think Olsen and Ohtani. I think Olsen is on the right team and is going to – the way in which Atlanta can manufacture runs, I think he's going to be put in a position to have better opportunities. I think Ohtani will probably convert RBIs at a higher rate than Olsen, but I think Olsen will wind up with more RBIs at the end of the year.
I have to agree, but don't overlook. I know he's number one right now, but don't overlook Adolis Garcia.
Yeah, Texas scores a bunch of runs, he's stabilized a little bit. It's.
But here's the thing about Garcia: 24 home runs. He's only got 38 walks. Olsen and Ohtani both over 50, and 105 strikeouts. So he's not getting walked as much. His on base is about 30 to 60% points lower, but yet He's driven in 80 runs already. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to. I think I'm gonna. Man, I think Ohtani is gonna go somewhere, and his numbers are gonna go up. So I'm gonna have to say Ohtani's for real.
There you go.
But yeah, him and Olsen, I think are the two best guys.
Fair enough. All right.
Two best chances.
I would like to point out that is that it?
That's it.
I would like to point out this is the first time that we've outlasted the music in Are They For Real?
It's about a 10-minute bet. Right? Well, it was a 2-parter,
right? Yeah, that's true.
And we had
and we had 4 of us.
It's 4 of us. We had Dave weighing in too. So
there you
go. All right, no show next week. See you later.
No, we'll have a show next week. All right. Anything else, gents?
Here's one thing I just want to say. Aaron Judge is still tied for 17th in the league for home runs, and he hasn't. He's still leading the Yankees in home runs. Here's another interesting fact. This is Gary Sanchez is gone, so I need somebody to beat up on, which is now obviously Josh Donaldson. Josh Donaldson has 10 home runs. Guess how many hits Josh Donaldson has this year?
11.
15. 11 would be way better.
Yeah.
So feast or famine by definition.
Obviously. Well, it's mostly famine, but when he gets a scrap, it's a steak.
There you go. Yeah,
all right. No, that's all I got.
All right. Sounds like a plan. All right, folks. On that note, we will wrap the show for today. We want to thank everybody for watching. And for those of you just listening to the audio podcast, thank you for listening. Don't forget to visit our website, www.getonwithitpodcast.com. That's getonwithitpodcast.com. And please remember, like us and follow us on all of our social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Just search for the Get On With It podcast. And, of course, all of our shows are available on YouTube as well on the Logger Room channel. Remember, we go live with a video podcast on both Facebook and YouTube every Wednesday night around 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And for those of you who just want to listen to the audio podcast, you can do so on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music Podcast, and iHeartRadio as well. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to one or more of those feeds, and you will never miss a show. Again, thanks for following along with us, folks. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Have a great weekend. Watch a lot of sports, and we'll see you next week, folks. Take care. Cheers.
Hey, if Sabrina Ionescu and Stephen Curry have a 3-point contest, who do you like?
Sabrina.
She just beat his record.
Yeah.
I think she made 37 out of 40 points, and that was in the final round too. So she's clutch.
Yep.
I'd like to see that.
Steph Curry is transitioning to golf. So
yeah. Well, he's got to do something when he retires.
Exactly.
Yeah, when he retires, he's older than I thought he was. He looks like he's 26.
Yeah.
He's got that Ralph Macchio thing going on.
He'll probably play till he's 45. He'll have 9,000 more 3-pointers than anybody else in the history of the NBA.
I was going to say any younger people watching or listening to the show not getting the Ralph Macchio reference, but everybody watches Cobra Kai, so they know who Ralph Macchio is now. So
there we go.
It's Macchio.
But yeah, I agree with you. I'd take Sabrina. I hope they go head to head. They should.
I think they should. That'd be great. That'd be great.
A lot of fun.
If we could go back,
I don't know if she plays golf, but
can we go back in time and have 1985 Larry Bird with his warm-up jacket still on?
Actually, I heard 2 guys talking about having like an old-timers home run derby.
Oh, God.
And I was like, I don't think I want to see that. Somebody's going to get hurt taking this.
Somebody's going to get hurt, and there's going to be like 1 or 2 home runs.
What is it, a T-ball?
Well, the point, I think, was on PTI.
Are they going to put like fences in the middle of the outfield? So
maybe like they did for the Bad News Bears, right? Right. When they went to the Astrodome, right? They had But what they were saying is, after 20 swings, you want to see these guys that have been retired for 15 years or whatever, they're going to get tired. They're not going to be able to keep hitting.
I'll tell you this, though, okay? Take Reggie Jackson as he is right now in October, put him at the plate. He's going to hit for a higher average than Oswaldo Cabrera or Josh Donaldson.
Definitely higher than Josh Donaldson.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah. I mean, the Yankees just need to re-sign Don Baylor and have him get hit by a pitch every 4th at bat.
There you go.
3-point contest, yes. All-star generic home run derby, no.
I don't want to see any more old-timers.
All right.
Yeah, even the 3-point contest.
All right, folks.
What's old-timer? I mean, unless it's 90-year-olds, and then I'm all for it.
Let me hit off a tee.
Yeah,
There's no pitching.
Then they hit out their teeth. Did you say?
That's right. Then it's
They have to take out their teeth before.
actually
Hit out their teeth and hit off a tee. Right?
what it is they keep hitting home runs, but the last one that didn't have to leave to pee wins.
Well, the event's gonna be sponsored by Depends.
It
I
had
don't think
nothing-
anybody's leaving to pee.
Yeah, you can't. That's an performance enhancing.
They might pause to
Product,
pee. But they're not leaving to pee.
Right.
Yeah, I heard Griffey's on Flomax.
That's right. Well, Frank Thomas is pumping more fucking bullshit through his body than ever before. That guy might be able to come back and hit home runs with his dick.
And on that note, folks, have a wonderful rest of your week. And we'll talk to you next week.
See you in
Yeah,
7
right.
days, maybe.
Oh, that was the way to end. That's perfect. There you go.